think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Well, now that I've jammed more excitement and energy into a Magic draft that is humanly freaking possible, welcome to Fast Drafts. In this first pack, there's not too much to talk about. There's a Halo Forager, but I don't want to dedicate myself to 2 colors for a Halo Forager right off the bat. And then there's a Vanquish the Week, but really what I got my eyes on is the rare. I'm a sucker for rares, and this one's pretty powerful. It's called City on Fire. It triples the damage to all permanent sources from all of your sources, but it's an 8 mana enchantment with Convoke, which means I can tap creatures to help pay for that cost. So my thought is I'll make an army of weenies and then triple their damage. Maybe that'll work. It seems fun at least. But then in pack 2, my opponent's like, no fucking way am I taking this. I just committed to it. Like, if I have 2, I can totally build around this. Okay, I mean, oh my gosh, let's try. Oh, what's this though? Enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1s. Non-creature spells have Convoke. At the beginning of the untap up to 4 creatures. That's like a Convoke build around. Squee. You can cast it whenever. I do like the Convoke Flyer, but Squee's got super upside, and I'm a sucker for rares. With the invasion of Segovia and Squee the Immortal added to our team, we now have the foundation for our deck. So we're going to pick up some little creatures like Captive Weird and Omen Hawker, and we're going to pick up some interaction like that Volcanic Spite and this Disturbing Conversion, and we're getting a Tidal Terror and a Thunderhead Squadron last picks. That's a very good sign. Pack 2, I start getting a little distracted and fall into my old 5-color ways again. Oh, but I'm a Convoke boy. I need it. I need it. I need it. This guy, he is a 2 mana, 1/3. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, untap it, loot 6, transform it, and it becomes quite a bomb. We like 2-drops in our Convoke deck, and also it untaps when we cast legends. Oh my god, I think this Convoke deck is a thing. So, I think this 1 mana card is actually quite good. The other option is take this and make 2 bodies. I kind of think this might come around. So will this. I think Captive Weird is our card. Karuga! Karuga also, I really want Ral's Reinforcements. This has Convoke. Ah! Karuga's good though. I'm taking it! I'm a sucker for rares! We continue our trend, picking up a Xerix Strobe Knight, which can make a 2/2 if you play 2 spells in a turn. And we get 2 Preening Champions in a row. And things are looking quite good, because as we get to the final picks of this pack, 1, 2, 3, we also got another Convoke boy. Hey, oh my god, this is exactly what I wanted to see. And Artistic Refusal made it around the table, everybody. Alright, what is the best card here? Whenever a creature planeswalker opponent controls is dealt excess damage if a giant wizard or spell you control dealt that damage, draw a card. Yeah, okay. Gotta threaten me with a good time. What is this? Yarok. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers. Oh my god, it's Panharmonicon on a body. I don't know if we can take that. This guy, though, this pack was really tempting in a lot of different ways. started with Yarok, and then I also got a Mori and a Traxa, and so many great white cards, but no fixing. And in the end, in this pack, there was not much I got. There was Wicked Slumber, I did get a Scrounger, I got a Stasis Field, but in general, I picked up white cards and just Temptation. And when we went into deck building, I ended up deciding I didn't have the fixing to go 3-color, and I really wanted to play City on Fire, so I went red-blue and cut everything else. I don't think I got the cards I needed, honestly. I think I'm a little worried. So game 1, this is just a match where everything goes exactly how we wanted it to. We start off with a great hand, and we play our spells. We use Moment of Truth, and we get our Invasion of Segovia, which matches up so nicely against his 3/1 Knight. And I'm just dreaming of my 1/1 little useless little worm trading for his nice 2-cost. I play Xerax, thinking it's going to get in some damage at the Invasion of Segovia. My opponent plays another Knight, keeps the counter on his Vigilance Boy, and gets him for 3. We get down the Invasion of Segovia, and you can already see my opponent beginning to go, oh god. And around here I'm thinking we could actually start triggering Xerax, and then, oh, okay, never mind. It gets sealed from existence. Because, you know, sometimes you just don't want a Strobe Knight in your existence, right? He gets in for another 3, but I draw a Volcanic Spite. And City on Fire does what it does best, gets looted away. I give it to my opponent. All right, you want to give me a Kraken, or you want to trade my 1/1 for your 3/1?
Dreams do come true.
Oh, it trades. Oh, it feels so good. He plays a couple of bodies, and I'm not too worried. Got this Rona here, looking good. We're not quite hitting our lands on curve here, so I'm just kind of playing what I can, right? My opponent Stasis Fields the Rona, and I understand. But then he keeps the 2 black, so I can't attack the invasion, which is really slowing his game plan down. Here's the thing about Stasis Field. Sure, now Rona can't use her abilities, but she could still convoke out some spells. And I get to use her to play this Thunderhead Squadron. My opponent plays a 1/3 double strike, and I couldn't care less. Since I've got this Artistic Refusal, I decide let's attack first. And oh, good thing I left up that counter. Because he tries to cut short my bird, but not gonna happen. Artistic Refusal, refusing to allow any kind of expression into their artistic works? I have no idea. What is an Artistic Refusal? I do not paint that for you. I do not paint pigs. And since I'm having fun convoking, and now all my non-creature spells have convoked, now that I have my Tyrant of Segovia, I decide I'm going to kill this guy before he has any chance to make it a 3/3. And oh, what's this? My Sea Tyrant of Segovia allows me to untap 4 creatures at the end of my turn? Ooh, feels good. And I'm just celebrating. My opponent just cannot get in now. I decided to play Karuga. And Karuga does exactly what Karuga wants to do. She's going to draw me 2 cards. Hell yeah. And oh my gosh, I could play another 3/4 flyer instead of just getting in for 3. Well, don't mind if I do. Tap it all. Convoke. And then I'm going to untap 4 bodies. And oh, it just feels like the synergies are just piling up now. Play the Scrounger, and honestly, I probably should have just discarded Squee here. I think I hadn't realized the synergies. And as I attack in for 12 damage with 7 in the air, and I'm looting, and I just have a board full of greatness, my opponent just says, no, I can't do anything about this. And that is a very solid win. Round 2 is one of those games where it all comes down to a singular moment, a singular play. Xerax, the Strobe Knight, is definitely going to be useful in this game, and you're going to see the true power of Convoke. So now we've got a moment of truth. What's it gonna be? Oh dear God. He's played a 2-2. What is this moment of truth gonna be? We get a land, and we sadly put some interaction into our graveyard and deck. We play a preening champion, and we pass the turn. Now he's definitely being aggressive here. I'm getting a bit greedy. I've decided I'm gonna play things slow, I'm gonna keep things back to Convoke, and maybe this is a mistake, but this is what I wanna do, is I wanna keep my bodies around. So I get him for 2, and I could play my Captive Weird here, but I decide against it because I wanna use it next turn to get a 2-2 with my Zerax. Maybe that's greedy. Call me Mr. Burns, because I'm on fire. Does that make any sense? No, I don't think that made any sense. But uh-oh. He's getting him for 6? Yeah, I don't think I want to chump block. Down to 11. Okay, land is good. We'll play our Captive Weird. We'll play the Thunderhead Squadron. We're going to get him for 2 with Zerax. We make a knight. Okay, alright. Technically we have blockers. Opponent swings in with the team, taps down our Thunderhead Squadron, and we're not quite dead. Oh dear God, an Inspired Charge? We're down to 1. Get a land, that's fine. We're gonna play Karuga. We're gonna get quite a few cards actually. Okay, we got another Captive Weird, which will let us get another 2-2 with Zerax. We're gonna get him for 5, so maybe we can, put a little pressure on. And now we've got quite a few blockers, which is good because we're gonna have to block everything. Plays an Angelic Intervention, which is gonna give it pro blue so we can get by my entire army. But what's this? The power of Convoke? Oh, it looked like I was tapped down, didn't it? You didn't expect to get a Wicked Slumber, did you?
Nobody expects
The fully convoked Wicked Slumber. That's right. Tap him down. Put a stun counter on them both. Oh, you gave it pro blue? That's very clever. Plays a Marauding Dreadship, but he's not gonna attack. Because his 4-1's just gonna trade with my 2-2? Oh, and now, are we close to winning? Oh, we're very close to winning, actually. So we want to transform this Captive Weird, get a card. Oh, it's another Convoke-y 3-4? Okay. Another Thunderhead Squadron? Okay, let's get it with our flyers. There's part of me that's like, do we alpha here? But I'm so close to dead, I'm a little afraid. Maybe I had legal there, I don't even want to count it. We play another Thunderhead Squadron. You can see my opponent is sad. You can feel the sadness, and we win! Oh!
Convoke! Convoke!
After doing the ceremonial mating call of the Convoke deck, we face against the opponent who just got mana screwed. We got down a 3-4 flyer on turn 4, and he just scooped it up. Oh, that's a free win. Round 4 was an insanely close game. We've got a pretty solid opening hand with Rona to help smooth things out. So let's see it. Starting off with Captive Weird. We're on the play, looking good. Turn 2, we've got Rona. Let's play her. Rona transforms into quite a powerful creature, and she also loots and she untaps when you play legendary creatures. We've got 2 legendary creatures in our hand. We miss our land drop, so let's loot. Let's discard this Squeak, because guess what? We can play it from our graveyard. Hell yeah. We still need a land. Play Moment of Truth. Grab that land. Oh, invasion! Why invasion? Why do you have to be so near and so far? We're going to be a smart Magic player, responsible Magic player. We're going to take the land and play it. Opponent swings in for 2 and plays a preening champion. So we've got some options here. I decided to play Agar, and my hope is I can Searing Barb that Skydiver guy, and then I get to draw a card. But it's a legend, so I get to loot with Rona. Bunch of good cards. I decided to throw away Zerax and keep the Weird, even though this was probably a mistake in hindsight. I just thought there was probably not a huge chance of me getting to play Zerax, so let's just keep the card I can play. Opponent swings in for 4 and plays Atris, Oracle of Half-Truths. His ability is quite powerful. Take 3 cards from your library, Your opponent puts them into 2 piles. So, and then he gets to pick one. One of them's face down. I decided to take the creature and the land, put it in face down. I hope it's probably take that, but I don't want to give him Vanquish the Weak and something. And of course he takes the 2 cards, which I think I would do the same. Decide to Searing Barb, the 2/1. Just like I said, gonna draw a card with that, which is pretty sweet. Get another land. So we're gonna play land, and then we're gonna loot with Rona and get rid of that 6th land. We don't need a 6th land. Well, then we definitely don't need a 7th land. We're gonna swing in. We figure if he blocks with Atris, we get another card. Goes to opponent's turn. He plays the land we gave him, swings in for 5. And he was definitely looking for a while, but we're gonna trade the weird for the Atris. I mean, it's not nice. He got 2 cards off that Atris, but we just can't be taking 5 every turn. Ooh, and he failed conversions, my Agar. So there goes my giant. Not the end of the world, but annoying. We got an 8th land now. Okay, we're gonna loot away that land. Oh, and a 9th land. That's a lot of lands in a row. So we could play Karuga, but it's not really gonna draw us any cards. So we decided to pay the 2 life, transform the Captive Weird, trying to keep the 3 mana up so we can play Squee. It's our 10th land. Okay, so we're gonna play Squee. We're gonna trigger Rona. We've already played a land for the turn, and that island we can play next turn, so now we're thinking, okay, gonna discard this 10th land over here. I swing in for 4, and pass the turn. Ooh, Halo Forger. Now that is a very good card. I was thinking about first picking that at the beginning, and here's why. It's a 3/1 flyer, which is great pressure, and then he's gonna get back the Vanquish the Weak, and he's gonna kill my Rona, who has been saving me from this mana flood. We're gonna get rid of that island. And there goes Rona. Rest in peace, Ronus. Ooh, our 11th land. Okay. We're going to play Karuga, and we're going to get a card from our Squee. Okay, it's a 3/4 flyer. So we can either play that or leave up the Disturbing Conversion. I decided to go with the Thunderbird Squadron. We're not totally dead if he kills it, but we're very close to dead right now. Ooh. Kills it. Makes a treasure. Plays a Scornblade Berserker, puts a counter on his 2/2 flyer, swings in for 7, and now we are down to 1. Is there any way we can stabilize this with the 2 cards we have in hand? Well, we can get rid of one of their damaging sources. Oh, and then we get a Wicked Slumber, which if you remember last time, that's what saved us when we were at 1. So we're gonna swing in for 3. We have a little bit of space on the ground here. He's gonna block with the Scornblade. He's gonna sack it to draw a card. And yeah, it is not feeling great, but we can at least stall for a turn or 2. Transform the Blight Reaper Thallid. Just gonna make him a 1/1, which is a 1/1 that could be lethal. Go to combat, and we will tap down your flyers. Put a stun counter on each. And we really need him to have no more flyers right now. And of course, he's got 1 more flyer. And that even makes 1 more 1/1 body, which we have just enough to block all this. Oh, the city on fire! Oh, and look at my existential crisis. You know I want to play it, but I could play it, swing in, and he just blocks with everything on the ground and nothing happens, and I lose. So I need to leave up the 2 mana for the Disturbing Conversion. I can't even tap 2 of my creatures to play it and leave 2 mana up. So I was hoping he was going to alpha here, and he does just that. He alphas. So okay, we're going to Disturbing Conversion the champion, and then we're going to block everything. And now that might leave me with enough attackers that we can swing back with the City on Fire for lethal. He's probably not expecting a City on Fire. So right now, I would have 2 attackers, he would have no blockers. Oh, he kills my Karuga, and then he also gets the 1/1 from the Thallid, and he's got a 1/1 lifelink. So now there's no chance in hell anything good happens. And nope, that Saiba Cryptomancer is not going to do anything, and my cat is clawing into my legs, so we're just going to play this City on Fire and call it our first loss with the deck. In round 5, so we had just gotten a new sub, and when I get a sub, I do this thing where I spin this wheel, and there's a bunch of random stuff on there, and this time I got Too Much Macho Man. So rather than tell you about it, I'll just show you what happened here.
Okay, everybody, it's time for the Macho Man to step into the ring. You think you could just play some Magic the Gathering, chill out for a little bit. No, Macho Man is here to tell you. He ain't never going away. Just when you think the joke is dead, Macho Man is gonna come step into the ring and say, "Oh, brother, there ain't a thrashing frontliner in the world that's gonna get between me and my Macho Man impersonation." That's right, it's time for Too Much Macho Man. Or my cat, he's going crazy. He can't handle the Macho Man impersonation. No one can handle the Macho Man impersonation. Let me tell you one thing about a Macho Man impersonation that goes on too long. It's here, right now in front of you. You thought it was only gonna be for a minute. No, it's going on way too long, everybody. The Macho Man doesn't know the meaning of no, okay? It doesn't know the meaning of time. When the Macho Man comes up on the wheel, the Macho Man will say his name about 30 or 40 times, okay? Do you understand? The Macho Man solid? And my cat is going crazy on the Macho Man's paperwork. The Macho Man has a cat, and that cat's name is Valunchin. It's actually Valen, but we're calling him Valunchin now, okay? And he loves the Macho Man impersonation right here. He is going absolutely Gucci bananas. The Gucci's, the Goobers, the Chachi Tubers, they are all here, and they are ready for some Macho Man action. Okay, I think I'm done. I think that's all I can muster. Things are looking pretty, brother. I got my weird transformed. I've got a preening champion, and I've got some 1-1s in the wings. Oh, you thought because I was going into the voiceover that the Macho Man impersonation was over? Well, think again, brother, because it is too much Macho Man. So here, I swing in for 5, and I'm leaving my 1-1s back so I can do an artistic refusal. It's an artistic refusal. No, we do not draw dinosaurs being exploded with graffiti bombs, okay? Oh, that is a perfect thing to artistic refusal. We're gonna counter that. We're gonna tap my boys. This is a Convoke deck. We're gonna discard Saiba, because I think it's about time we got down this city on fire, everybody. Let's go! I'm free down there. Let's go! Yes! Round 6 is an oh-so-sweet round against a blue-black control deck. We start off with another solid hand. Playables, good mana base, getting a turn 1 Captive Weird. Captive Weird, by the way, been a great 1-drop. Opponent plays a Nezumi Informant, making me discard a card, and I don't want to be greedy, even though I could discard a land here probably, but I decide to get rid of the Disturbing conversion. He plays a Halo Forger, which is a really good card, but for no value, just as a 3-1 flyer. Another reason why it's good. It's just a solid body as a 3-1 flyer for 3 mana. So I play a Xerix Strobe Knight, thinking I can maybe start playing a couple of spells a turn if things go well. And my opponent's already like, I don't think I can let Xerix keep getting in for 2 a turn, so he does nothing. I decided to transform my Weird here instead of playing one of my cards. My thought is, if I hit a land, I could play 2 cards next turn, and then I get to trigger Xerix, and that would be sweet. I swing in with the Weird for 3 damage, and pass the turn. Opponent vanquishes my Xerix, and starts getting in, hits me for 4, play the land from my Weird, and now the 2 spells a turn don't really matter, but I'm still gonna Agar, and we'll Moment of Truth next turn. Hit him for 3.
Halo Charged Scab. So he's going to mill us 2, and then he can put an instant sorcery of battle on top of his deck. We milled a couple of lands. He gets Vanquish the Weak. Swings in for 3. Oh, but we got this moment of truth. What's it gonna be? A Preening Champion. 2 Preening Champions. All right, we'll take one of those. So we're gonna play the Preening Champion. Between the Scrounger and the Invasion, I decided to do the Invasion, thinking maybe I could surprise him with the +1/+1, or maybe I'm going to want to put that somewhere else. Maybe there will be something I want to loot next turn. Opponent just passes the turn with 5 mana up. We know he's got the Vanquish the Weak, so I'm thinking he's probably going to kill something in response if I put a counter on it. Let's play the Karuga and force him to vanquish something to try to get rid of one of the cards I'll draw. With Agar dead, we draw 1 less card, but we still draw 2, and we get a land and a Saba Cryptomancer. Swing in, he blocks with the Forager. I'm fine with that trade. He plays an Oracle of Tragedy and loots. He tosses away a Emoti, so I guess he's also green. Plays another Halo Forager, but doesn't wait until next turn to get the value. He just wants that 3/1 flyer. And this, the opponent basically does exactly what I want them to do. I put a counter on Karuga, I swing at the Invasion of Segovia, I loot away the land, and I'm leaving back my Saiba to possibly put a 1/1 counter on it as a combat trick. It does exactly what I want. He puts 5 damage exactly with 7 defense. Oh, but what? I can make it 7 attack, 6 defense? Ho ho ho, Saiba! Coming through in the clutch. Kills both their creatures, keeps my Karuga alive, they get to loot. But that could have been the whole battle right there, honestly. We just removed 2 bodies, and now we still have a 7/6. Decided to play Omen Hawker, thinking that I can use him next turn to flip my Captive Weird. Opponent's turn. Another Atris Oracle of Half-Truths. Ooh, and this is an awkward one, because there's this really bomb card here, C Double. I have 8 cards in my graveyard, which means he'll get to copy a spell and a creature, or the 2 lands. How do I possibly entice him to take the 2 lands pile here? I end up offering him 2 lands or face down C Double, and he takes the C Double. Now I'm thinking, okay, let's see what we can get with the Captive Weird. And it's a Squee, which weirdly enough I can play from exile. And I want to get this Sea Tyrant of Segovia, so let's try. Opponent, tired of losing all of his blockers, and just like looking at our boards, kind of crazy now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bodies. I untap some creatures at the end of turn thanks to my Sea Tyrant. My opponent plays a land, swings it for 3 in the air. We'll take it down to 10, and they pass the turn. But they've still got C Double up. So I really don't want to give them the Volcanic Spite, so my thought is I'll swing in aggressively and try to make them use C Double on the defense. Swing in with like half the team, loot away the island. Ooh, it's a city on fire. Oh, that would have been good pre-combat. Can't let him copy that spell. Okay, and he does exactly what I want. He's gonna C Double the Karuga. It's gonna let him draw 2 cards, which is very good for him. But we're gonna get in for a good chunk of damage here. So I was considering Volcanic Spiting the Karuga. Decided not to. I figured I wanted to see what happened next turn, and maybe the loot would come in handy. We're gonna untap 4 creatures. Opponent passes the turn with 3 cards in hand. So now we've got Town City on fire. Let's go, baby. Let's attack. He exiles my Karuga with a merciless repurposing, but I tell him, listen, if I can't have a Karuga, you can't have a Karuga, okay? An opponent scoops it up. GG, opponent. It was hard fought. Round 7 is so special. It's so special. Rona really gets to pop off here, and we are just making so many bodies. Let's just fast forward. We both make a bunch of bodies. I play an Invasion of Segovia, yada yada yada. I transform Rona into the Tolarian Obliterator, where she becomes a 5/5 trampling Phyrexian wizard, with whenever a source deals damage to Rona, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you get to cast it for free. It's crazy. So we transform Rona. We swing in at the invasion of Segovia, and I'm thinking he's just gonna let this through, right? I'm getting this card eventually. No, he blocks with his entire team, and there's actually an extra layer of synergies here because Agar says whenever a wizard deals excess damage, you draw a card, and Rona is a wizard. So I'm able to actually distribute extra damage to his creatures so I can draw cards for killing them. And then all three of them deal damage to Rona, which means we're gonna trigger Rona's ability 3 times, and he only has 3 cards in hand. We get a Consuming Aetherborn, a Corrupted Conviction, so we sack a creature, and then we're basically gonna have a full hand at the end of this turn, and an Invasion of Asgal, which I cast to my opponent, makes him sacrifice a creature and lose a life, and now I have 6 cards in hand, and he has absolutely nothing, and he scoops it up. I'd never seen Rona trigger once, let alone 3 times and draw me 2 cards. It was fantastic. Round 8 is a doozy, and it is a battle of the bombs. We start off with another solid hand. We got a turn 2 Rona, who's always good for helping smooth out those tough draws. And then also great for just blowing opponents out who don't read the card. Opponent plays a Streetwise Negotiator, which, by the way, I think is a top level 2-drop. It's basically a 2-mana 3/3. We play a Xerax because I just have dreams of getting 2/2 Knights for free. Opponent swings in for 3, and we're gonna take it to the dome. We'll loot, we get a land, we get rid of Stasis Field, we'll discover later that was probably a mistake. We get a Squee, and I'm kind of stoked about Squee, because it's kind of like a free card draw, because we get to discard it with Rona, and then play it later. We're gonna play a Preening Champion, and I've got this big idea in my head that we're gonna convoke the Thunderhead Squadron, and get a Knight, and do all this stuff, but my math is off. He plays a Sandstalker Malak, which is a pretty damn good card, especially here because he's gonna get a free card because I played a blue spell. Oh, and it's an Invasion of Fiora, which is a bomb of a battle. It can destroy all legendary creatures and or all non-legendaries. So basically a Wrath, and if he ever flips it to Marchesa, we're boned. He swings in for 7. And again, I have this idea that I'm going to be convoking out my Thunderhead Squadron, so I want all my bodies, and I block with no one. Take 7 down to 10. He plays an Overgrown Pest, and he gets an Herbology Instructor, which doesn't seem like a big deal. It actually is. We discard our Squee, and we draw a Moment of Truth. Not hitting our land drops here, kind of awkward. So we're going to loot with Rona. Not hitting lands, we discard Moment of Truth. So there's no Zelda meme here. Play Squee, untap Rona. Now I'm realizing while I could play Thunderhead Squadron, because I missed the land, I won't get the Knight as well. And then I'm probably going to take quite a bit of damage. So I decide to keep back my blockers. Opponent plays land, swings in for 3. I double block, and maybe that was a mistake because I kind of need all these creatures for all these convoke spells. Opponent plays the Instructor, gains 3 life, I loot, still not hitting my land drops, I discard this Saiba and go to my next turn, and I'm still not hitting my land. I loot again, I get the land, I discard the Wicked Slumber, which might be a mistake. Play the land, and around here I can see my opponent keeps reading Xerax, and every time I do something, he's like hovering over Xerax, like when is the time to kill this? When do I have to worry about this? So I play Squee, thinks about killing Xerax. Untap Rona. Play Omen Hawker, and he goes, whoa, I can't let you have a Knight, but it's too late. I've already cast the spell. So I get my Knight, he kills my Xerax. Value achieved. I once again decide not to play Thunderhead Squadron. My thought is I can leave up my Artistic Refusal. And I end up blocking here, and this was kind of a mistake because now I don't have my Artistic Refusal, and he plays Shield. Yeah. Great. I loot out of desperation. That Volcanic Spite's not going to help me. I discard the Squadron, sack the Omen Hawker, and go to my turn. Now, what do I do here? Loot with Rona, get a land, discard the land. Play Karuga, Untap Rona, draw another land. Play a land, loot with Rona, discard a land, play a land, play the weird. Not going to attack? Ugh, in retrospect, I realize not attacking here totally lost me this game. Ugh, fuck! And he flips Shieldred, kills my Rona, and my dreams. And now I'm trying to see, is there any way we can erase the living end portion of Shieldred? She's going to make me discard 3 cards. I flip into a city on fire. So there might be some way of doing enough damage with that next turn. But he's got a Wrath in hand. So what am I supposed to do? Well, I swing in, because the only way I'm winning is if I do enough damage at this point. And right now, I actually have more of a board. So I kill his creature, because I'm going to have to discard this card anyway. I loot away the Artistic Refusal, because again, I'm going to lose my whole hand. Might as well. Get him down to 8. So now I'm thinking, okay, he needs a land for this Wrath. If he doesn't hit that land, I might keep my board and be able to play City on Fire and win. He plays a Skittering Surveyor, which means he doesn't have the land for the Wrath. He's only got 1 blocker. My Flyer would be able to swing in for 6 with a City on Fire. Ugh, shit. Okay, he played another Herbology Instructor, which means he gains another 3 life, and he's got another blocker. I draw a Searing Barb with the City on Fire. It can do 2 damage to any target, so that means I can do 6 to his face with that, and 6 to his face with my Preening Champion, which is lethal. So I am so close to killing him. But if I attack him with my ground creatures, he'll chump block with both of them, and then when they come back, he'll get a land and gain an extra 3 life. And around here, I'm realizing he's already got an Herbology Instructor in his graveyard, which means he's gonna gain another 3 life. So I will really need a miracle draw of some sort that could help cheat in some extra damage here. And right now, I just don't know what that could be. Gets a whole bunch of triggers and cards. But really the key here is that he gets extra life from the Herbology Researcher. If it wasn't for that, the Searing Barb in my hand would have done 6 damage and would have been lethal. It was that close. It was 2 life away. But 2 life is still enough to win, and that's going to be all she wrote here, and I scoop it up. In our final round, it is a perfect matchup, and oh boy, is this a good game. So we actually start off with a pretty subpar hand, can't really play anything except Squee. We mulligan down, and what's this? Another turn 1 Captive Weird, hell yeah. Okay, we get rid of the Cyber Cryptomancer. We're going to drop down the Omen Hawker, so we can try to flip this weird quickly. Draw land, that's good. We'll play the Captive Weird, and we're just going to immediately flip it. Hell yeah, give me that land. We got the City on Fire. We don't have the red mana for it just yet, but it's in the distance. It's a dream right now. Play the Xerac Strobe Knight. Swing in for 4. Opponent Stasis Fields my Xeracs, but here's the great thing about being up against a deck that's using enchantments like this. We can still convoke our creatures while they're enchanted, baby. The power of Convoke! And you're going to see that right here as we get this Thunderhead Squadron tapping our seemingly useless Xeracs. They're going to make an Incubate token. They're going to play a Oculus Whelp, which will be active because of the Incubation token. Swing him for 3. Keep that pressure on. Got our opponent down to 10. Play our Agar. Opponent finally gets their 2nd color and pacifies our Thunderhead Squadron, plays their own 2/2. Doesn't attack just yet. So I go, alright, you know what? They're down to 10. Let's get this City on Fire and really freak them out. It'll make my Searing Barb do triple damage. Agar will probably draw at least a card for the City on Fire. And they've got a Disenchant? My only weakness? They swing in for 2, get us down to 16. Play a land, play Karuga. Another thing these enchantments are not doing is removing them, so we're going to still draw cards with them thanks to Karuga. We draw 3 cards, including our 2nd City on Fire. Oh, it's not over yet. Okay, we're going to pass the turn for now. Opponent goes to Stasis, our Agar, and a fully convoked artistic refusal. How could I ignore that? So we're going to counter it. We're going to draw 2 and discard, tap down our whole team. And I am realizing here that tapping down my whole team means he can get in for 14 damage. And I'm kind of just hoping that I have enough damage to win on the backswing if he chooses to do that. And he swings in for 13 damage and plays a Night Lord. So what do we do here? Okay, he's got 3 flyers. I currently have 0. So I'm going to have to play this Preening Champion as a blocker, but then he's going to draw cards if I block the Whelp, and he can tap my flyer with his Knight. So what I'm going to have to do is kill that Knight, block the Preening Champion, and Wicked Slumber once again coming in the clutch. I'm going to swing him with 3 with Agar. I'm thinking, I'm so close to having lethal on him. If I could just stabilize for 1 turn, we could probably win on the backswing. He goes to combat. We tap down his 2 Whelps, trying to avoid killing them. No one expects the fully convoked Wicked Slumber! Put a stun counter on each of them, and we will trade our champions for one another. Oh, he plays the Sunder to make a body. Well, I've got another City on Fire in hand. Good thing he did not save that. We're going to play a couple of bodies because right now we need some blockers. And I'm realizing how critical these moments are. So I decide, use Omen Hawker, make another creature, and I'm going to just Stasis Field the Whelp. One of the Whelps, maybe that'll save me 2 mana and another turn, because don't know if I can win in time. Oh, he plays a Progenitor Exarch. Incubates 2 3/3 incubation tokens. Now here's the thing. I play City on Fire here. I would have to tap a creature, and then it has to be a red creature, which means it's not one of my pacified creatures. And then I swing in with the team. He could block enough that he won't die, and then I will die to the Whelp on the backswing. So I can't play City on Fire here. I'm going to flip the Conjurer. I get a land. Not super useful here, but I need to kill the Oculus Whelp. It's going to kill me on the backswing. I decided to do it now just in case he's got counter spells or something that'll save it in his deck. And I draw a card with Agar. It's a Thunderhead Squadron, which I could convoke out, but he's got, with those extra incubation tokens, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possible attackers. Oh, and he plays a Phyrexian Awakening, which is pretty good. Thankfully, my Karuga's kind of holding the ground down right now. Oh, but now I've got 2 flyers. And this Preening Champion is going to make quite a few bodies. And by quite a few, I mean 2. Play the Preening Champion, convoke a little bit out the Thunderhead Squadron, tapping down the 2 creatures he had enchanted. And now it's looking pretty good. It's looking like I can win next turn. I'm going to swing in with Karuga. He's going to chump block with his Whelp. Pass the turn to him. He's got his own Preening Champion, which is a blocker in the air, which normally would be pretty good. I draw the land, fully play the City on Fire, and oh boy is this City on Fire. Now, there's an old saying in the Magic community, and it goes, math is for blockers. And I couldn't imagine a better situation to use it than right here, where I swing in with 12 creatures with a City on Fire, and my opponent scoops it up for the 7th and final win with my Convoke deck. Stabilize, Wicked Slumber, the Convoke spell, City on Fire, putting through the damage in the end in our final round. And that Convoke deck was pretty damn sweet, actually. It just had so many tricks. It had such good tempo. It had some great payoffs. City on Fire, of course, didn't do as much as you want it to do, but when it did stuff, oh boy, did it be around. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like the comment, subscribe button,